Greetings. Welcome back to my channel, Ham Radio Test and Review. Today I'm going to go over the firmware menu items in the Tidradio TD-H3 Plus model. Now, as you know, this is a new model. It's still in the beta testing mode, and I'm one of the few people who got to be able to become a beta tester. And so I'm going to show you all the different menu items since it is different from the standard TD-H3. So let's get into it. First, we're going to turn the radio on so you can see that it has a new screen. I've set it up with my call sign
Welcome
and the name of the radio. To get into the menu, you press the blue button and you now get the radio setting. And we have a new volume control here, and it shows you what the volume is. Very nice. Okay, radio settings. This is a two-part video that we're going to do. This is part one, and we're going to do all the radio settings in this part, and then we're going to do all the rest in part two. Under radio settings, we have the squelch level, levels 1 through 5 or off. Your step frequency, I always set mine for 12.5. I'm sorry, 25. I'm sorry about that. And that seems to be the best setting for ham radio use. The Vox level, 1 through 5. I always leave mine off. I don't use Vox. Vox delay. When I do use Vox, very rarely, I always leave it at 3 seconds, and I believe that's what it comes stock with in the stock firmware. The transmit timeout timer, this I always turn off. I am a little long-winded, so I can set it for up to 2 minutes. Oh, in this case, 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, and I can talk longer than that. So I always leave it off because I don't want the transmitter to shut itself off right in the middle of a sentence. The Roger beep, it comes with 2 different Roger beeps. You can set either one or turn it off. I don't like the Roger beep, so I don't use it. Keypad beep, as you can hear, on or off. I do use it. Power save, I always turn the power save off on all my radios. Keypad lock, you can lock it either from here, I always leave it off, or you can push the asterisk key and hold it down and it will lock the keypad. Dual watch, I always use dual watch on all my radios, on or off. Voice, as you heard it when I first turned it on or off. The backlight, I always set it for 30 seconds. You can set it for up to 30 seconds or leave it always on, but I prefer just to have it turn off after 30 seconds. The brightness, it comes stock set at number 5, and I leave it at that. It does get a little washed out in the direct sunlight, but not too bad. Oops. Sorry about that. Power on display. This is where you can set a message, or you can have the voltage of the battery display when you first power on the radio, or you can upload a picture to it and have it display when you turn the radio on. You can sync 2 different radios, either on or off. The any edit, in this case it's set for 1, 2, 3, but you can change it however you want. Display type A. So what this is this is for your AVFO, your top one. When it's on the screen, you can set it to either show name and channel number or frequency and channel number. And the same for your VFO-B. This is for your DTMF, and you just turn it on or off. Your PTT delay in milliseconds, I always leave it at the shortest. Your language, English or Chinese. Alarm mode. The alarm mode is either you can turn the alarm on the radio itself, or you can have it transmit the alarm. I don't like the alarm at all, so I could do without that. Side tone, either on or off. Tone burst, you can set the frequency. 1750 is standard. Talk around, what that does is it swaps the frequency between your transmit and receive on your repeater, so you might be able to hear the person who's transmitting into your repeater. Sorry about that. Your FM interrupt, on or off. Now this is for programming this key right here underneath the top push to talk button key. You can program this to do whatever you want. I always program this second key to be a second push to talk key. So you'll see when I have this set that I have it set for the second push to talk key, but you can set it for any of the items that you see in the list. But now that's for the short press. When we go to the long press, you'll see that it will say reject because I have it set for the push to talk key. So you can't program it for anything else other than push to talk once you do that. For the second key, this one down here, you can program that to do whatever you want, of course. In this case, I have it set for on the short press for an FM radio, and for the long press, I have it set for the weather. Okay, and those are the different things that you can program it to. This is for factory reset. You can either reset the VFO, the channels, or do a full factory reset. This is for your breath LED. You can set it for any number of seconds. I always set it for 5. This is for your mic gain. I have to tell you that I don't really need mic gain for this mic inside the radio. But if you were to use an external mic, you might need to turn up the gain or turn down the gain a little bit. Set at 1 seems to work just fine for me. The DTMF speed, I always leave it at the shortest. And the DCD, on or off, never use it, so I always leave it off. Your D hold, same thing, leave it off. Your D response, always leave it at null. Your AM band. Now, if you want to receive air band channels, then you have to turn this AM band on. You get it on and off. Now, the radio is only advertised as a dual band that's on 2 meter and 70 centimeter. However, it is capable of transmitting on other parts of the band, and I'll tell you right now, it doesn't have very full power on any of the other parts of the band. So you can expect full power on 2 meter and 70 centimeter, but as far as any of these other bands, if you set it to transmit, it won't be on full power. But in the 200 megahertz, that's the 1.25 megahertz band, you can transmit on there if you set this to on. On the 350 megahertz band, you can set that to either be on, comes off when you get the radio, and the same thing with the 500 megahertz band, comes off and you can configure it to be on if you like. That does it for the radio settings of the Tidradio TD-H3 Plus.